It's when it's not that you're like, oh fuck, like the ship's not as tight as I think in this one realm, but it's a very important realm. So usually, I've been chewing on this a lot. Usually what I say is whatever business that you're in that and marketing.
Yeah, agreed,
right?
agreed.
So in my head, I always think of it as 20% the business you're in, 80% marketing. I think it's really 40% marketing, 30%, or maybe even 40% finance, and then that last bit is the niche that you're in. Because, I mean, let's be real, most small businesses go out of business within a few years. So the thing about it being within a few years, that's not overnight. Everything could be really good for a couple years, and then something's not all of a sudden, then you're fucking out of business. Then your neighbor with the $10 million house, 4 Range Rovers, and all of his kids are in private school, that dude has one bad month, now he's in bankruptcy, right? That's the financial piece. The business is great, but without that financial piece, you're not covered for those little downsides that can fucking wreck everything.
Yep, that's you're blind because, like you said, you have the big up months,
yep.
And that blind spot, and then the I think where people double down is what you're avoiding right now. So what happens is there's two things you can do when you have a down month. You can either just go, doesn't matter, next month will be great, and you don't learn from anything of like the scare you just had.
Yep.
You're questioning it.
This is the third time this has happened to me in the last 3 years. It happens like once a year. The first time, like, I wasn't really responsible for any expenses, so it was me just like not going to a steakhouse every night, because like when I first got into real estate, like that's kind of what I was doing, right? The second time it happened, it was really like still really low operating expenses, nowhere near the scale of where we are now. Now I have probably $15,000 to $20,000 a month in payroll and just like normal ass expenses coming out.
Yeah.
Besides probably $30,000 to $40,000 a month, not including paying salesperson commissions, because those sort of come right off the top, and sometimes they're fucking gigantic. But like around $30,000 to $40,000 in recurring business expenses every month, which was not the case before. So now, like, I mean, we're nowhere near from having an only $10,000 or $20,000 a month, thank God. But if we had a $10,000 or $20,000 a month, like that would fucking suck.
So you go, so
because that's just revenue,
and it's doing the perfect thing for you. You're going, whoa, what if? Yep. Right? You're going, what if? And you're like, whoa, I'm one deal away from this happening, right? So it's good to have those questions, because I've noticed that there's two steps. There's the irresponsible business owner, and there's the responsible. Everything's not always straight up, right? That's not the deal.
And we're all learning, we're all growing. Like, I'm fucking young, dude. Like, I didn't go to college or nothing. Like, this
always,
is all,
yeah. And the irresponsible business owner doesn't learn from the mistakes in that month, and then what they do is they go, oh, we'll just catch up next month. We'll double down next month. Right. We'll have twice as good a month. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. They didn't learn from the mistakes.
And you're on the roller coaster, and you're in the same spot doing the same thing. Do you want to grow and build, or do you want to keep having the same cycle occur?
You just create your own shitty cycle. And if you continue to make the business bigger and use more money, there we go. We're on Josh Weidman's Facebook share. Perfect. But if you want to
forget to tell your friends about the Middlemen podcast, and if you're on Facebook, share it.
So, but yeah, that cycle is like anything else in life, right? It's like cycles you want to break out of in life. You have to break out of that cycle. And one of the ways to not be in a cycle is by acknowledging the blind spots, the weak spots. Most people don't even want to realize it's a weak spot they have, right? And when I say weak spot, it just means a spot that you go, whoa, I didn't see that. I should improve on that, as opposed to like, maybe I can just cover it up. Maybe I can do more. So like, I had a lot of weak spots that we would analyze, and that's where this information comes from. It's just like, just bulletproofing, or doing the best to bulletproof blind spots. I'm sure I still have some, but when I have something that doesn't happen the way I anticipated it happening in business, especially when there's money, like not as much money as I wanted, I don't look at it and go, oh, I'll just double down next month. I look at it and go, whoa, what do I need to go after? What do I need to do to change this? What do I need to make sure this doesn't happen again? And you know, sometimes it'll take a couple cycles for me to really grab what I did wrong.
Yeah.
But it's really good that you're asking that question. So, and you'll avoid it. You'll start looking. You're asking me the right questions right now. You're like, okay, like those are the questions you should be asking.
Thank you.
And then you just move the pieces and you change it up. So
I'm actually going to the bank after this to set up a bunch of different accounts so I can physically see it in different spots.
So much better.
Instead of just seeing my accountant's balance sheet where I'm like, okay, what the fuck does this mean? You know,
it's so much better.
Like, my accountant's great, don't get me wrong, but
it's a different language.
Yeah, I like see a P&L, I'm like, all right, like.
The very first hire in Hard Money Bankers was in-house controller.
Yeah.
Like, we're all like, we're not accountants. Like, my partner, Chris Haddon, very good at with it. He's more of the accounting favored side compared to me and Jay. And we know how to read a P&L and stuff like that, but like, it is a different language. Don't like, if you're gonna hire somebody, just get a controller, an accountant, somebody that speaks that
When
language.
you say controller, you mean like basically an in-house CFO?
Esque. That's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah, they oversee the accounting department.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't need, she wasn't a controller when we first hired her. It was just, it was in the accountant. I'm not even sure the exact name. It wasn't considered a controller. It's like another level.
Yeah.
But you don't need that. When you first hire me, it's just like, look, you do my books, make this clean English for me. This is what I need. And everything has to zero out at the end of the month. I need everything to the penny to zero out. Always zero out to the penny. And if it's not, they got to go back through it and get it. Mm-hmm. So, and that was the very first hire. And it was the smartest one because we didn't do that in Atlas Property. And my gosh, like, it took years for us to get everything back to where it had to be once it got cooking. And then we also had we hired accountants and people to come in and so forth. But we didn't have to do that if we did it up front. We just took care of it up front. We just said, you're the accountant, speak this language. But the basic stuff you're talking about is completely right, which is separate the accounts, basic math, just like, all right, when I see the money in this account, I know what this is for. You can give me a P&L on this whole, account for operating costs or whatever you want, but you in your head know very simple math. This account does this account does that. Because that's how I think too. Like, I don't, whether it's operating or accruing or an accrual basis versus a cash basis, like none of that shit, I'm just like, is the money there or it's not?
Right.
And it's really hard when you have what you had happen, or what you're having happen, which is like, holy cow, we have 150 grand in the account, and then poof, it's like, where'd it go?
Yeah.
Because it's such a large number in 1 month, and then all of a sudden it's gone. So it's
So
because
get used to it.
it's the way it gets cut up, it's the way it gets allocated. So you just predict that and then allocate the accounts. Yeah. So.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Wait. I got a couple bullshit things I want to talk about.
Oh yeah, what do you got?
We got. So this is not okay. This is we'll put it out there. So we have an exclusive event coming up in February 28th. Mm-hmm. By exclusive, it means we are pretending we're cool and just sending out RSVPs to certain people. But it'll be pretty neat. It will be videotaped. We'll probably have 2 or 3 camera crews there. It'll be at the Divine Lorraine, February 28th, and there'll be a panel speaker of guys that are significant in our realm. Mike McCann, Alan Dom, Richard Aller, Multifamily Gold Dollar Management. Like, go look him up. And we're actually going to invite one other guy. So it'll be a panel of probably the biggest players in our market, if not some of the world. Yeah, these guys are huge.
I'd consider most of them national players.
They're mega. Mega. So they've all agreed to do a panel. It'll probably be a several-hour session. Now, the people that'll actually be there, there's limited space, so we'll invite people. But I did want to make sure we got excellent video coverage because we'll put a lot of that footage out to people. So we'll have probably 3 different camera crews there. So February 28th is pretty exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So, but I can tell you, I don't know that I love putting. I don't know. See, the girl. Props to the girl that's putting this together for us. As long as the legwork and mental capacity to have to pull it off is very limited, I'm okay with doing another one. But if it comes to any kind of
a rock star.
Stacy's doing well.
What's your last name? Cratcher?
I'm not sure. Cracker?
Cracker?
I don't know. Stacey, if you're watching, tell us how to pronounce it. Give us the phonetics of your last name. That's all I got, brother.
Yeah, me too, man.
Cool. Russian Bathhouse next time, maybe January 20th. And everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Middlemen podcast. I keep saying everybody. Thank you for tuning in. George Beatty, if you have a deal that you need to sell or buy off market, that is what this man does. If you're in Philadelphia and you don't know George Beatty in the real estate game, you probably really aren't in the game. So if you need to find a deal or sell a deal, come to George. And if you'd like to fund the deal, I'd be happy to chat with you because I do private lending investing, and go buy the book.
Great. Once again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and get all of our episodes there. You can find Ian at hardmoneybankers.com. You can find me and my deals at paoffmarket.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great rest of your day.
Cool.